Imagine a being born from stone, mischievous, rebellious, and with powers beyond comprehension. He could leap across the heavens in a single bound, defeat the mightiest of foes, and trick the gods themselves. His name was feared, respected, and whispered across the realms. Yet, beneath all that power and bravado, he longed for something more: enlightenment. His name? Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. But this isn't just an ancient tale. The story of Sun Wukong has transcended time, space, and even mediums. From ancient scrolls and oral traditions to modern-day video games, the Monkey King's journey is as immortal as the character himself. And today, his tale finds new life in the groundbreaking game, Black Myth, Wukong, where legends of old meet the technology of the future. What makes this monkey so special? Why has his story endured for centuries? Today, we dive deep into the legendary origins of the Monkey King and explore how his story has been reimagined for the 21st century. Long before the realms of mortals and immortals had even begun to settle, there lay a mystical mountain called the Mountain of Flowers and Fruit. It was here, on the peak of this celestial mountain, that a curious event occurred. A massive, magical stone, infused with the raw essence of heaven and earth, suddenly cracked open, and from it emerged a creature unlike any other. This was no ordinary birth. It was the arrival of a being destined to alter the balance of heaven and earth. The stone gave birth to a monkey. But this was not just any monkey. He was born with supernatural strength, a keen intelligence, and a restless spirit that would one day lead him to challenge the heavens themselves. As he grew, this monkey would become known as Sun Wukong, Sun, meaning monkey, and Wukong, awakened to emptiness. His destiny was written in the stars, a creature of immense power, but one that would be tested, tempered, and ultimately seek enlightenment. From a young age, Sun Wukong displayed a talent for leadership. In no time, he rose to become the king of all monkeys, reigning over the mountain of flowers and fruit with pride. But Sun Wukong's ambitions stretched far beyond his mountain. He craved knowledge, power, and, most importantly, immortality. Determined to gain the wisdom he needed, he set off on a journey that would take him across realms. His first stop was a meeting with a wise Taoist master who would teach him the arts of transformation and immortality. It was under this master's tutelage that Wukong learned to shift his form into 72 different transformations, each more powerful and deceptive than the last. He could become a bird, a fish, or even a deity with a mere thought. His mastery over the physical world grew, but so too did his arrogance. Sun Wukong's thirst for power didn't stop with transformations. His next obsession became immortality. Though he had learned the secret of longevity from his Taoist master, he wasn't satisfied. He wanted complete invincibility. In search of this, he journeyed to the Dragon King's palace under the sea and demanded the most powerful weapon known to gods and men, the Rui Jingu Bang, a magical staff that could grow to immense lengths or shrink to the size of a needle at his command. This staff would later become his most iconic weapon. But Sun Wukong didn't stop there. He marched into the courts of the underworld and erased his name from the Book of Life and Death, ensuring that he could never die. The heavens took notice. His bold actions did not go unnoticed by the Jade Emperor, ruler of the celestial realm. Fearing the consequences of Sun Wukong's growing power and audacity, the Jade Emperor sought to bring him into the fold by offering him a position in heaven. But the Monkey King was not one to play by the rules. Once in heaven, Sun Wukong quickly realized that the celestial beings saw him as little more than a novelty. Enraged by what he perceived as disrespect, he declared himself the Great Sage, Equal of Heaven, a title he would force the Jade Emperor to acknowledge. His defiance didn't stop there. He stole the sacred peaches of immortality, drank the heavenly wine, and caused havoc among the gods. This led to one of the most famous battles in Chinese mythology, the Great Heavenly War. The gods summoned their finest warriors, but none could defeat the mighty Monkey King. He faced them all, demons, celestial generals, even the strongest gods themselves, and emerged victorious each time. With each victory, his arrogance grew. Finally, with the heavens in chaos, the Jade Emperor turned to Buddha for help. Understanding Sun Wukong's nature, Buddha proposed a simple challenge. If Wukong could leap out of his hand, he would be free to rule the heavens as he saw fit. Confident in his abilities, the Monkey King accepted. He soared through the skies, reaching what he believed to be the end of the universe, only to realize too late that he had never left Buddha's hand. With a mere gesture, Buddha trapped Sun Wukong beneath a mountain, sealing him away for 500 years as punishment for his arrogance and defiance. Sun Wukong's rebellion against heaven is not merely an act of defiance but a metaphor for the struggle against conformity and limits. His fight against the celestial authorities reflects a universal theme of challenging established power structures. In ancient Chinese society, Sun Wukong represented the archetype of the individual striving for freedom in a world ruled by order and tradition. His defiance was not born out of malice, but from a desire for self-actualization. Sun Wukong wanted control over his own destiny, refusing to submit to the rules imposed on him by gods and kings alike. The deeper significance of Sun Wukong's character lies in his eventual quest for enlightenment. His rebellious nature is tempered by the wisdom he gains over time, symbolizing the journey from ignorance to understanding. The Monkey King's story serves as an allegory for human existence, the struggle to reconcile one's desires with higher principles. His quest for immortality, power, and respect mirrors the existential longing all humans face, to transcend mortality and discover the meaning of life. Sun Wukong's obsession with immortality represents mankind's desire to conquer death. His relentless pursuit of this goal drives much of his early actions, from erasing his name from the Book of Life and Death to stealing the peaches of immortality. Yet, despite his best efforts, Sun Wukong learns that immortality comes with its own set of consequences. In many ways, the Monkey King's immortality becomes a curse. It isolates him from his peers, distances him from heaven, and ultimately traps him beneath a mountain for 500 years. The lesson here is clear: immortality without wisdom leads to emptiness. True enlightenment, the story suggests, lies not in escaping death, but in understanding the nature of existence itself. Sun Wukong's ability to transform into 72 different creatures is more than a demonstration of power. It is a symbol of adaptability and the fluid nature of identity. Throughout his journey, the Monkey King undergoes constant physical transformations, but his most significant transformation is internal. From a mischievous trickster to a disciplined monk's disciple, Wukong's journey is a reflection of the human experience, evolving, learning, and growing. His transformations highlight an essential Taoist principle. The world is in constant flux, and those who can adapt to change are the ones who will thrive. Wukong's journey is one of learning to bend without breaking, to change without losing one's core self. Sun Wukong's redemption arc begins the moment he is released from his 500-year imprisonment. After being trapped beneath a mountain as punishment for his arrogance, the Monkey King is eventually freed by the Buddhist monk, Xuanzang. This marks a significant turning point in his journey. No longer the rebellious trickster, Wukong now embarks on a quest to protect Xuanzang on his journey to retrieve sacred Buddhist scriptures. This phase of his story is not just about physical redemption, but spiritual growth. By serving as the monk's protector, Sun Wukong begins to learn the values of compassion, discipline, and selflessness. He comes to understand that true strength lies not in power or immortality, but in wisdom and humility. His final transformation from a rebellious king to a loyal disciple is what ultimately earns him enlightenment and a place among the immortals. Sun Wukong's story, first popularized in the 16th century novel Journey to the West, has permeated Chinese culture for centuries. The Monkey King has become one of the most iconic characters in Chinese folklore, symbolizing both rebellion and wisdom. His story has been told and retold across generations in various forms: opera, novels, television, film, and now video games. In Chinese opera, Sun Wukong is portrayed as a master of martial arts, his acrobatic fighting style reflecting the dynamic energy of his character. In literature, his adventures have been adapted and expanded upon in countless retellings, making him a cornerstone of Chinese mythological storytelling. He represents the quintessential hero's journey, a flawed character who grows through his experiences, ultimately finding redemption and enlightenment. The Monkey King's popularity extends beyond China. His story has been adapted into various forms of media across Asia, including Japanese manga and anime, Korean dramas, and Southeast Asian folklore. Sun Wukong's universal appeal lies in his complexity. He is both a trickster and a hero, a rebel and a sage, a figure of chaos and balance. In the modern era, Sun Wukong has transcended the boundaries of folklore and entered the realm of pop culture. He has appeared in countless films, TV shows, and even comic books, each adaptation offering a unique perspective on the Monkey King's character. Perhaps the most famous adaptation in the West is the character of Goku in the Dragon Ball series, who is heavily inspired by Sun Wukong. Modern depictions of Wukong often emphasize his physical prowess and trickster nature, but they also delve into his deeper struggles with identity and purpose. From the animated films Monkey King, Hero is back to various television adaptations. The Monkey King continues to captivate audiences with his larger-than-life persona and relatable inner conflict. Though Sun Wukong is deeply rooted in Chinese culture, his story has had a global impact. His influence can be seen in numerous characters across various genres and cultures. From Goku in Dragon Ball to the character of Monkey in the British TV series Monkey, the themes of rebellion, self-discovery, and redemption found in Sun Wukong's story resonate universally. As modern entertainment becomes more globalized, the Monkey King's story has found new audiences worldwide. His character serves as a bridge between East and West, allowing people from different cultures to connect through his timeless narrative of growth and enlightenment. The Monkey King's journey has not ended with ancient tales and folklore. In fact, Sun Wukong has found new life in the realm of modern media, particularly in video games. The most recent and groundbreaking example of this is Black Myth: Wukong, a next-generation action RPG developed by the Chinese indie studio Game Science. This game marks a significant evolution in the way the story of Wukong is told. While it draws heavily from the mythology of the Monkey King, Black Myth: Wukong reimagines the character and his journey for modern audiences. The game blends traditional storytelling with cutting-edge technology, offering players an immersive experience that honors the ancient legend while introducing new twists and interpretations. In the world of Black Myth: Wukong, players are taken on a breathtaking journey through the mystical world of ancient China, where they encounter gods, demons, and fantastical creatures. The game draws heavily from the classic tale of Journey to the West, but it also introduces new characters, challenges, and interpretations that expand the mythological universe. The plot of Black Myth: Wukong revolves around Sun Wukong as he embarks on an epic quest filled with battles, exploration, and discovery. As players guide Wukong through various environments, each more visually stunning than the last, they are immersed in a world where the lines between myth and reality blur. The character of Wukong in Black Myth retains many of the traits that made the original Monkey King so iconic: his cunning, his combat skills, and his rebellious spirit. However, this new interpretation of Wukong delves deeper into his emotional struggles, particularly his journey towards self-discovery. Unlike the brash and arrogant Monkey King of ancient lore, the Wukong of Black Myth is more introspective, a character shaped by the weight of his past actions and the consequences that follow. The game explores themes of redemption, destiny, and the cyclical nature of history, much like the original tale. But what sets Black Myth: Wukong apart is its willingness to challenge the boundaries of the traditional narrative, offering players a fresh perspective on the timeless legend. The developers of Black Myth: Wukong have crafted a game that not only honors the legendary story of Sun Wukong, but also revolutionizes the way players interact with mythology. The game's combat system is both dynamic and fluid, allowing players to switch between various forms and powers, mirroring Wukong's own ability to transform. Each transformation offers unique advantages, encouraging players to strategize and adapt to different situations, much like the Monkey King himself. The visuals are equally stunning, with environments that are richly detailed and infused with the essence of Chinese mythology. From mist-covered mountains to lush forests filled with mythical creatures, the game creates an immersive world that feels both ancient and alive. Black Myth: Wukong is a highly anticipated 2024 action RPG developed by Chinese game studio Game Science. The game reimagines the classic story of Sun Wukong but presents it in a dark, mature, and highly detailed world. Set in a mystical realm heavily inspired by Chinese mythology, it focuses on Wukong's struggle against celestial beings and demonic creatures as he seeks enlightenment and redemption. At the heart of Black Myth: Wukong is Sun Wukong's journey to discover who he truly is. While the original Journey to the West is about a pilgrimage towards spiritual enlightenment, this game focuses on Wukong's personal battle against his darker impulses and his quest for justice in a world filled with corruption and betrayal. The game opens with Wukong imprisoned and humiliated by the heavens. After a long period of introspection and defeat, Wukong breaks free from his celestial chains and sets off on a journey to reclaim his identity as the Great Sage, Equal of Heaven. Along the way, players must navigate an increasingly complex world filled with deception, divine wrath, and dark forces seeking to stop Wukong's rise. In Black Myth: Wukong, the world building is intricately tied to Chinese folklore, creating a rich and immersive environment. From celestial palaces and hellish underworlds to bamboo forests and mountain peaks, each area is designed with attention to mythological detail. The world is divided into multiple regions, each ruled by a powerful deity or demon king, which players must conquer as they progress through the game. The world of Black Myth is not simply a passive backdrop. The environment plays an active role in both storytelling and gameplay. Players can use the terrain to their advantage in combat or solve puzzles that require keen observation of the environment. For example, certain puzzles involve using Wukong's transformations, turning into insects, birds, or even objects, to access hidden areas or gather intel from enemies. One of the most striking locations is the Heavenly Palace, a sprawling area that captures the grandeur of the gods but also the rigid hierarchy that led to Wukong's rebellion. Players will visit this palace multiple times throughout the game, but each visit reveals more of its corruption and decay, symbolizing the gradual downfall of the Celestial Order. Unlike the traditional Journey to the West, Black Myth: Wukong is not a straightforward tale of redemption. The The story takes a darker tone, emphasizing themes of betrayal, vengeance, and the cyclical nature of violence. Wukong's journey is rife with moral ambiguity as he battles both external foes and his inner demons. Early in the game, Wukong encounters a mysterious monk who hints that his past actions as a rebellious trickster may have far-reaching consequences. This monk serves as a guiding figure throughout the game, challenging Wukong to confront his past mistakes. However, it quickly becomes apparent that the monk's motives are not entirely pure, leaving players questioning who they can trust. As players progress through the game, they learn more about Wukong's complex relationship with the gods, particularly the Jade Emperor, who sees Wukong as a dangerous outcast. This sets up a central conflict between Wukong and the celestial forces, with the gods seeking to suppress his growing power. But Wukong is not without allies. Along the way, players meet fellow outcasts, demons, and celestial beings who have also been wronged by the Heavenly Order. One of the game's central mysteries involves Wukong's forgotten past. Throughout the game, flashbacks and hidden memories reveal that Wukong's rebellion against heaven may have been manipulated by darker forces, turning him into a pawn in a much larger cosmic war. The game introduces a number of key characters that play a significant role in Wukong's journey. 1. The Jade Emperor, the ruler of the Celestial Realm and Wukong's primary antagonist. The Jade Emperor represents order and tradition, but his fear of Wukong's power leads to tyranny. His ultimate goal is to erase Wukong from existence to maintain his control over the heavens. 2. The Monk, a mysterious figure who guides Wukong through much of his journey. While initially appearing to be an ally, the monk's true motives remain unclear, and his cryptic advice often leads Wukong into morally questionable situations. 3. The Bull Demon King, one of Wukong's fiercest enemies and an embodiment of raw, destructive power. The Bull Demon King believes in using force to achieve dominance, serving as a foil to Wukong's more strategic approach to battle. 4. Heavenly Warrior, a celestial being tasked with capturing Wukong. As the game progresses, this warrior becomes increasingly conflicted about his role in enforcing the Jade Emperor's rule, and his relationship with Wukong evolves from one of pure antagonism to mutual respect. 5. The White Bone Spirit, a cunning and seductive demon who challenges Wukong's loyalty to his friends and allies. She is a master manipulator, and her encounters with Wukong often involve psychological, as well as physical, tests. Black Myth. Wukong is renowned for its epic boss battles, each of which is designed to test the player's mastery of the game's mechanics. From battling colossal monsters like the Fire Demon King to facing off against celestial generals, each encounter feels unique and narratively significant. In one early battle, Wukong must fight the Golden Cicada, a former ally turned enemy, who now guards one of the game's sacred relics. This fight is as much about skill as it is about understanding the Golden Cicada's tragic backstory. His fall from grace mirrors Wukong's own story, and the battle represents a philosophical clash between two once heroic figures. Later, Wukong faces the Bull Demon King in one of the game's most visually stunning and mechanically complex fights. Set in a fiery arena, this battle forces players to master the game's dodging and transformation mechanics, while also engaging in a war of attrition with the Bull Demon King's overwhelming power. Each boss fight is not just a test of strength, but a storytelling moment. Defeating these powerful foes often results in revelations about Wukong's past, his relationships with other mythological figures, and the true nature of his quest. One of the key mechanics in Black Myth, Wukong, is Wukong's ability to transform into various creatures and objects. This ability is central to both combat and puzzle solving, offering players a dynamic and versatile approach to gameplay. For instance, in combat, Wukong can transform into smaller animals like insects or birds to evade enemies and launch sneak attacks. He can also take on larger forms, such as a giant beast, to crush enemies with brute force. These transformations are not just flashy abilities, they require strategic use in battle, as certain enemies have specific weaknesses that can only be exploited through transformation. Outside of combat, transformations play a major role in exploration and puzzle solving. Players must use Wukong's abilities to navigate complex environments, find hidden paths, and unlock ancient secrets. This adds a layer of depth to the game, as players must constantly think about the best way to approach each challenge. As Wukong's journey nears its climax, he finally arrives at the Heavenly Palace. Once a symbol of divine power and justice, the palace has decayed under the weight of corruption. Wukong's final confrontation with the Jade Emperor is set against this backdrop, where celestial order has crumbled into chaos. The path to the Jade Emperor is not easy. Wukong must fight through waves of celestial warriors, each more powerful than the last. Along the way, players uncover secret documents and hidden artifacts that reveal the true nature of the gods' rule, how they manipulate the mortal world for their own gain, and how Wukong's rebellion, while destructive, was inevitable in the face of such tyranny. In this penultimate section of the game, Wukong encounters one last trial, the illusion of his past. This illusion shows a world where Wukong chose to obey the gods, living in peace but without freedom. It is a powerful test of Wukong's resolve, forcing players to confront the game's central question: Is the fight for freedom worth the cost? The final confrontation between Wukong and the Jade Emperor is both a physical and ideological battle. The Jade Emperor, representing order and tradition, seeks to impose his will on the universe, while Wukong, the embodiment of chaos and freedom, fights for self-determination. The fight is staged in the throne room of the Heavenly Palace, a grand, celestial setting filled with golden statues and divine relics. As the battle progresses, the room begins to collapse, symbolizing the downfall of the old celestial order. The Jade Emperor's power is immense, and he fights using celestial magic, summoning gods and spirits to aid him. Wukong, in turn, uses his mastery of transformation and his legendary staff, the Rui Jingu Bang, to counter these attacks. The battle is a test of all the skills players have learned throughout the game, requiring precision, timing, and strategy. As the fight reaches its peak, the Jade Emperor transforms into a monstrous, godlike form, his final attempt to crush Wukong's rebellion. In the game's most visually stunning sequence, Wukong uses every ounce of his strength and cunning to defeat the Emperor, ending the battle with a devastating final blow that shatters the throne. After the fall of the Jade Emperor, the celestial realm lies in ruins. Wukong stands victorious, but the cost of his rebellion is clear. The old order is gone, and a new, uncertain future awaits. In the aftermath of the battle, Wukong must decide what kind of leader he wants to be. He is offered the chance to take the Jade Emperor's place as ruler of the heavens, but the player's decisions throughout the game influence his final choice. Will Wukong become a benevolent ruler, bringing justice to the universe, or will he embrace chaos, continuing his path of rebellion and destruction? The game ends on an ambiguous note, leaving players to reflect on Wukong's journey and the consequences of his actions. The final shot shows Wukong standing at the edge of the destroyed Heavenly Palace, gazing out at the universe. The camera slowly zooms out, fading to black as the words, "The Great Sage, Equal of Heaven," appear on the screen. Black Myth: Wukong is more than just an action-packed RPG. It's a deep exploration of Chinese mythology, a story of rebellion, freedom, and the cost of power. By reimagining Sun Wukong's journey, the game presents players with complex moral choices and challenges them to think critically about the nature of authority and individual freedom. The game's stunning visuals, rich world building, and innovative mechanics make it a standout title in the gaming world. But at its core, Black Myth: Wukong is about one character's struggle to define his destiny in a universe that seeks to control him. Whether you're a fan of Chinese mythology, action RPGs, or simply great storytelling, Black Myth: Wukong offers an unforgettable experience that will stay with you long after the final credits roll. And that brings us to the end of our journey with Sun Wukong. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the Black Myth: Wukong universe, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more exciting content on mythology, gaming, and storytelling. We've got plenty more epic tales to explore, so stay tuned for the next adventure. And remember, the legend of the Monkey King is far from over. Whether it's through games, movies, or books, the story of Wukong continues to inspire and captivate audiences around the world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.